Hello friends and welcome to day 14 of the Let's Get Blitzin' cocktail advent calendar. Today we are making a riff on the classic Toronto cocktail that I'm calling the Fernet Festivus. This is a seasonal twist on this classic cocktail that originated sometime in the early 1900s, probably around 1910s, 1915. Hard to say, but it first appeared in print in Robert Vermeer's Cocktails, How to Mix Them in 1922, in which he called it the Fernet cocktail and claimed that the drink was well enjoyed by those from Toronto, Canada. A little bit far-fetched, Vermeer, a little bit far-fetched, because in 1921, of course, Prohibition came to Canada, which would have made the Italian-made Fernet-Branca, the star ingredient of this cocktail, very hard to come by on our shores. So it is possible, however, that he was describing Canadians who visited his bar in London, England, and their affection for the cocktail, or perhaps he was describing Torontonians from pre-Prohibition days and their enthusiasm for this style of bitter, herbaceous, tasty, spirit-forward cocktail. That's entirely possible. But nevertheless, the history of this cocktail remains somewhat contested on account of that little tidbit. In addition to your Fernet-Branca for the Fernet Festivus, you will need rye, preferably Canadian rye, to pay homage to the original Toronto cocktail. Best to use Canadian if we're making a cocktail named after a Canadian city. A couple dashes of angostura bitters, a little bit of your gingerbread syrup, and an orange peel for a little twist on the garnish. We're serving it in a petit Nick and Nora glass. Here, chilled glass. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? We're gonna do 1 3/4 ounces of rye. So I have changed it up a bit to make it even more Fernet forward because of course, Fernet-Branca is my sponsor today. So we wanted to celebrate them and their starring role. So again, 1 3/4 ounces of Canadian rye. Then we're gonna do 1/2 ounce, which is up from 1/4 ounce in the original Toronto cocktail spec. So 1/2 ounce of Fernet. Fernet is a secret recipe. Everyone is surprised of 27 different herbs and spices. We're not there yet. 1/2 ounce of gingerbread syrup. Of course, like any good secret, they won't give it all away, but just enough to pique your interest. So you'll likely find chamomile, saffron, rhubarb, and ginger in there, but they're not prepared to share all the secrets. 2 dashes of angostura. Whoa, that was just rude. All over the counter. I was hesitant, I was reluctant. We're going to stir this lovely Fernet Festivus. The one, the only, Fernet-Branca is a kind of ritualized greeting amongst bartenders. So if you have any friends that work in the hospitality industry and they take you with them to another bar, you may be greeted too with a shot of Fernet-Branca. And who am I to stop you if that's how you choose to consume this lovely herbal liqueur? I won't stop you. No, I will not. But on the website for Fernet-Branca, they have a little tasting guide to help you discover the complexity of the spirit in 3 sips. We're straining into our Nick and Nora glass, right to the brim. There we go. And then we are going to garnish with our orange peel. In case you're wondering how I made those photos from today's post, good question, my friends. I just want to start by saying the photos were inspired by my internet friend Jordan from High Proof Preacher, who I often turn to for a little bit of photographic inspiration, as the man is very talented. And a while ago, quite some time ago, he did a series of cocktails on shoes, which I was quite fond of and I wanted to recreate for quite some time. So then when I was setting about planning for this year's Let's Get Blitzin', I wanted to make sure that I found a way to work that in. So to start, those are not composite images. We're going to express the orange peel onto the surface of the drink, fashion it into a twist, and then we are going to just kind of push that on the side of the glass. They're not composite images, so I did not make them in Photoshop. I really did have a bottle of Fernet-Branca and this lovely cocktail perched on each foot. I was lying on the ground over top of my lovely Wolford hosiery and my Jimmy Choo glitter pumps. I, of course, was wearing a stylish ensemble of Lululemon shorts and a cotton t-shirt in case of any spillage. Miraculously, no glasses or bottles were broken in the making of those images, nor were any drinks spilled. A couple drops here and there, but nothing catastrophic. Cheers. Fernet Festivus. Oof. That is delicious. For professional drinkers only, of course, but I know that's most of you. I know you've been here long enough. You stuck with me, kid, and that was a great choice because now you're ready to consume a thing of beauty like this, Fernet Festivus. Just to wrap up on how I staged the photos. Lying on the ground, on my back, feet kicked into the air, straining my hamstrings for dear life, trying not to tear a muscle. It was very difficult. And I had my good friend Finn, who shoots a lot of my fashion and fitness content, helping me as my second shooter that day. He was working the remote shutter and staging my feet so that they weren't angled and I didn't drop anything on the floor on myself, and then placing gingerly the cocktail and the bottle of Fernet-Branca on my feet, and then just hitting that remote shutter. We set up a large soft box with an off-camera flash really close to me, so we have a big light source close to the subject. Oh, I'm spilling. I didn't spill ones on my feet, but I'm spilling in my hand talking. And then we just did that a bunch until my hamstrings and my hip flexors felt like they were going to just pop out. But I couldn't be happier with how the images turned out. So I am planning to, sell some art prints, some photographic prints of my best cocktail photography on my Taste and Tipple shop in 2022. So, you can have my legs on your wall with the Fernet Festivus as well. What's not to like? Set up a little shrine, light a candle to Professor Tipple, and a damn good drink. There we go. A little drip drop. Thank you for joining me. Cheers. And of course, I will see you tomorrow, my friends. Thank you for joining me.